All right, cool. Um, all right, cool. All right, we got the notes. All right, cool. Let's do the quick highlight overview, and then we'll go to each part of our section here. We'll kick off our poll in just a second. Uh, we have our Thinkorswim session from 2 weeks ago. Wait, what closed? Oh, my NVIDIA closed. Excellent. Okay. Blah blah blah. Sorry, distracted. So yes, Thinkorswim, the session is up, so feel free to watch that. And for a lot of folks who are migrating to TOS for the first time, I think this is a really good session. So John Turnkey put it up, and it was a great overview. So I hope you guys can enjoy that. Pardon me, I didn't grab a Idiot of the Week, but we'll do some other fun stuff. Cool. But yeah, we'll look at our index overview in just a second as well, and look at potential index rotation fund. We'll look at the American Association of Individual Investors and look at the week-to-week sentiment data. We'll take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, which is actually moving quite a bit this week, as the S&P is setting yet another all-time high as the world implodes, but the markets melt up. Fantastic. And we'll go over the Stock Traders Almanac and look at how March is shaping up. It's been quite the meteoric March overall. And then we'll take a look at April's reading and see how that's going to shake up. So the optimism should continue. So risk off, I guess. And there's some weird timed out cookie thing with my sign into stock charts. It's on a different computer that's I cracked the screen on my other laptop, so I had to switch. But I can't sign in. There's some timed out cookie thing which lets me sign in the stock charts for free on the other computer. So I need to figure that out. But yeah. But other than that, we'll look at earnings. I know we're on the tail end of our earnings season, but we'll look at remaining fund plays. We'll look at what the kids are trading on Robinhood and whatnot. And again, they're affectionately named the fish, and that's a poker term if you guys are into poker. And of course, we'll look at our news cycle. Lots of fun things here. We'll look at the U.S. debt, which is insane. We're printing $1 trillion every 100 days. Like this is just a nightmare. This becomes Venezuela, Argentina. I think we passed the trajectory to be Japan. So we'll talk about the Japanese yen as well, since that's kind of in free fall or some crazy stuff. And here's our prior Black Swan list. And if there's any additions, especially Gavin, since you're seeing this for the first time, if you see anything else that we missed, please let us know. But I think we covered all of the major possible items. Again, we're still building this, but it should be fun. And then we got our theaters of war, which again, we have more active war zones than points in the VIX, which again makes no sense. So the VIX is definitely undervalued, but should we be buying out of the money calls just yet? I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll talk about Baltimore and Moscow for sure. So yeah. Other fun stuff. We got some updates on Sam Bankman-Fried. He's going to be in jail for 25 years. I think that's a bit of a slap on the wrist. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. BlackRock is very bullish on crypto, so we'll take a look at those inflow and outflow numbers. And I know, I mean, there's a lot of news since last Thursday, but I want to also revisit the regional bank contagion. So New York Community Bancorp is in trouble, and that bail-in didn't do jack shit. So we'll take a look at that and look at KRE, the parent regional ETF as well. So we'll take a look at that. And lots of fun domestic news, of course. Well, we're continuing to track our Tesla resale value devastation with Hertz selling off their entire fleet. And it looks like, whatchamacallit? Sorry, something else. I confused my articles. Okay. But yeah, we'll look at the Hertz current resale value. And we've been tracking those screenshots since January diligently. So good stuff. But yeah, Yeah, so Black Swan event, we'll definitely talk a lot about Baltimore. And there's a lot of sort of chain effects to the whole ecosystem. It's beyond just the bridge itself, but this disrupts, let me show you guys, the cruise lines that use it as a dock. This screws up a lot of coal shipments. And just based on where this is, there's so many railroads and canals that depend on these sea lanes, and this screws up a lot of things. Okay. And then also this affects truckers who are hauling autos and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot to unpack. We'll take a look at mass migration and what that's also doing to cattle, no less. And we'll take a look at what that means. And some veterinarians are predicting flesh-eating parasites next. So that's a little crazy. And then I got some more beef news here as well. We'll take a look at this. And yeah, we'll see what the latest debacle is with the illegals. And at this point, I think it's just safe to say that the nation state of America just hates the producers and they just want to import um, easier peons to manage. And yeah, it's just insane. Okay. I mean, especially if they're spending, $1 trillion every 100 days, what's the point in collecting taxes? Just refund everything and write off all the debt and let's just go, max Japan and Venezuela and lower the administration paperwork. Okay.
You
Also
forgot Argentina.
in Argentina, yeah. Any other hyperinflationary areas? Zimbabwe, of course, right? And then South Africa is following Zimbabwe right off over the cliff's edge. So it's apartheid all over again. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, the knockout game is coming back into existence in New York. So this was a bunch of this is like hoodlums and joggers in the West Coast starting this up. But now the illegals are picking it up. So they're just going and walking up to soft targets and then just sucker punching them. And like, I wish someone would do this to me, but yeah. And our anti-inflation poodle, Cola, is saying hi here. Okay. Okay. And we got some fun real estate news. I got some secondary markets, resale info here. So we'll look at that. And here as well. And then we got some interesting office space cost-cutting leaks or memos from Amazon here. So we'll take a look at that as well. And then shifting to tech news, shout out to Ross again for this great picture. And again, we need to augment the current 300-point increase. But yeah. Fun stuff with electric vehicles galore. Fisker has slashed prices some more on their last existing model to stay solvent. And this is officially a penny stock. And we'll just take a look at the value destruction for investors. Over the course of its lifetime, Fisker has lost 99% of its market cap. Like, it's just mind-blowing. And NIO and even Tesla one day will reach its intrinsic value of 0. So we'll take a look at that.
And this is Fisker's second time around.
Oh, is it? They've been
Yeah.
around 2 decades, right?
You had
Okay.
a company 10 years ago that went under.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Yeah, we'll go to the history. So just remind me, Larry. Yeah, we'll look at corporate history. Cool. And then we'll take a look at Facebook. Zuckerberg has been caught with his pants down, apparently, and he's been wiretapping the competitors. So he basically played with the TCP/IP protocol and faked certificates to intercept data packets from Snapchat and whatnot. So kind of crazy. So we'll take a look at that. And then I was reading something else, and I found the LifeLog write-up on from DARPA. So this is the proto Facebook product, and I'll walk you guys through a little bit on the timeline here. So basically, this government program was ended the day Facebook came into existence, literally the day of. So kind of interesting. So we'll go into this. All right. And then what else? We'll look at cybercrime since we're going to talk about black swans and whatnot. And shifting to international news, we'll look at Kremlin and some interesting rumors that have come up around that, and who did it. We'll take a look at that. And then we got some France news here, so definitely would love to hear from our French correspondent Linda and YouTube star to see how this might shake up. And we'll also look at the T word around the world. And since there is whatchamacallit, really good voice transcription services on Zoom, we will not say the T word out loud because we're on already too many um, potential threat lists already. But yeah, and then we'll look at what's also happening in the Orient. And I just had an idea that like, the BRICS movement is movement away from the US dollar, away from dollar denominated energy sources, especially around OPEC, and also to get weapons. So we'll kind of unpack this a little bit more once we get to this part. But yeah, as we mentioned earlier, we'll talk about the Japanese yen as well. And maybe we should all plan a Japanese vacation soon with the exchange rate being so favorable. And other than that, we have great commodities news, and this has been blowing up. I'm sure you guys are watching gold in the sidelines. This is definitely picking up. We'll look at some alternative investments, and whiskey here is kind of interesting. And interestingly enough, like I have, alcoholic beverage wealth management experience, interestingly enough, from Macau. And again, the challenge with selling wine and whiskey is the resale market is really complicated. And your asset is only worth the resale value. Like no matter what the brochure says, it's all about the resale value. So that's why, even when you buy diamonds and whatnot, you're getting ripped off wholesale. It's insane. Okay. And I thought this was an interesting little premium article. I grabbed the screenshot at least, but yeah, JP Morgan warns Putin can push oil to $100 by September. So yeah, I thought that's kind of interesting. And then we'll talk about cocoa as well. And this isn't cocaine, but this is more about actual dark chocolate prices being not so transitory. So we'll take a look at this and look at Hershey stock as well. And we'll take a look at gold prices in just a bit and look at the gold silver ratio, of course. And then lots of fun Chinese news. Xi Jinping is going around on a poor man's roadshow again and begging for money from Western capitalists. So we'll take a look at that. There is the biggest update to the U.S. alliance in the Pacific that just got unveiled. So battle lines are definitely being drawn out, and we'll take a look at that. I got some fun intel direct from the street here via China Observer, and we'll look at, I guess, my ancestral hometown of Shanghai and look at what the hell's happening there. Real estate collapse, youth unemployment, gig economy, like with ride sharing and food deliveries also collapsing, and just everything's in free fall. So we'll take a look. Of course, we'll take a look at Chinese tech stocks. The big ETFs, FXI, CWEB, KWEB, and we'll look at individual tech tickers and look for potential shorts that Warren would do. All right. And then also fun stuff. Got some cool things on Chinese plagiarism, cheating, and whatnot. And we'll take a look at this. And I got some interesting personal anecdotes. I wasn't the one buying cheating, but people were cheating off of me in high school. So I'll tell you those fun stories later. But yeah, and apparently there was a white paper and a lot of analytics on Chinese knuckleheads. And I found the white paper, and then I found the 2014 edition and the 23 edition. So we'll take a look at Chinese plagiarism and bullshit from undergraduate to PhD level dissertations and whatnot. So all kinds of bullshit. And we'll take a look at that. And meanwhile, for the labor market in China, again, to me, this is a good canary in the coal mine for what's going to happen in the US. And we're seeing that happen, at least with tech layoffs. And yeah, in the Chinese mindset, if you're 35, you're already too old because they want really, really fresh young blood. And so on the flip side, in America, Gen Z is turning out to be the worst possible employees. Like these are effing babies. They have mental health days. They don't work hard. And just in terms of timing, they've never had office time like Gen X or millennials or boomers. I mean, they come out of college expecting a work from home job. And that lack of office and corporate, even political acumen is kind of interesting. So kind of a flip side of the demographic issue, but I thought it was interesting. Cool. So that's the highlight reel. So let's see. Let's check the chat log really quick. Let's see. Ed posted. What is this? New Bitcoin ETFs to be issued with an in-kind exchange. Interesting. This is cool. In-kind exchange. We did see in-kind. We talked about this, I think, a year ago. Chinese real estate developers were accepting like deliveries of garlic and potatoes for deposits on buildings. If you guys remember this, I reported on it about over a year ago. But yeah, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's relevant about it was there was a push and still is to allow for Bitcoin instead of convert to US dollars to convert to Bitcoin. And that gets back to the ability to take self-custody. So the next attack vector, we had FTX in the last cycle. The next attack vector is clearly going to be Coinbase, and potentially inclusion with the US government, where it's, paper Bitcoin, right? So that's what FTX did, which is basically paper Bitcoin. And so if Hong Kong decides to create a spot Bitcoin ETF that allows for you to take self-custody effectively of your Bitcoin, they've created a superior layer 2 to Bitcoin. And I expect that we will see funds that are concerned about self-custody and whatnot, but are maybe not able to take self-custody for regulatory or other purposes, show great interest in that. Interestingly, there was also a statistic I saw recently that most crypto holdings are still owned by Asia. There's just a huge demand for it. So anyway, kind of ties in with Hong Kong and some of the other things. Anyway, it's interesting to me.
Yeah, and would you happen to know, is there a website or anything that tracks like a heat map of global transactions? Is there a way to see where is the global distribution of at least Bitcoin?
And you can go to on-chain, right? On-chain analysis.
Yeah, so let me find, there's an article I just watched yesterday that was posted by a crypto person that I follow, and they are a crypto person rather than a Bitcoin person, but he does really good on-chain analysis. So let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be really fun to look at. Okay, cool. And yeah, let me kick off our poll. This is so there's some typos and grammar errors in the prompt, but ignore that. Where do you think the market will go by next Thursday? Bullish, sideways, or bearish? So we'll do our week-to-week comparison. And then I will pull up the American Association of Individual Investors data to compare with our savvier crew of option traders, futures traders, and stock traders. All right, thank you guys for sharing. Let me share the results. All right, so 50% of us are expecting a bullish week, and 30% sideways, and 20% bearish. All right, excellent. And to compare, let's see. Oh, we're tracking AII really closely today. So 50%, 50%. Sideways is about the same. Bearish is about the same. Okay, wow. That's pretty cool. We haven't maintained parity in a while, so that's nice. All right, cool. And then this cohort generally likes buy and hold stuff. So good stuff. All right, let's fire up our Think or Swim and look at the indexes. All right. Let me check toss on my phone to make sure I'm still profitable. And if you guys haven't used toss on a phone, it's actually really handy, especially for like glancing at positions and closing it. It's awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, okay. It's been a good trading day. All right. All right. So let's look at the ES really quick. pretty flat for the day, uneventful. Yeah, just a nice kind of close of the month. What else? What tends to happen though towards the end of the month? Uh, Institutions close out their books, and then new inflows will start the first week of the new month. And then we're going into a holiday weekend. So this would be a good time to do a holiday weekend trade because uh, just, it's easier to manage the peasants when they're a little bit happier or distracted. So, I mean, it's Easter weekend, so we can expect Google to have no doodle, and we should generally expect the market to be fairly green through the 3-day weekend. And tomorrow is off as well, in case you were looking to trade. So today is Synthetic Friday, as it were. Okay, so yeah, let's look at the ES. So we'll look at the S&P 500 again from the futures level to the big boy options contracts through SPX, and then look at SPY, which is more retail centric. And yeah, so we're seeing strong inflows still above the zero line, at least according to the on balance volume indicator here. So still mostly net buyers. And let's go to the put call ratio and take a deeper dive and look at the betting public. All right, so fair value is about 1.4. This is about 3.16. So a lot of contracts are rolling over, and there's people just picking up some, I guess, short-term hedges or something. Lots of money is stacked at the low delta stuff. So yeah, 88%. We usually see like 80%. This is 88, which is a little bit high. But let's look at the other parts of the SPX and see, or sorry, the S&P and see how they're shaking up. So again, put call ratio 3.1. And those sizzle numbers are all broken on TOS. And yeah, I've given up talking to support about that. I'm sure they have their hands full with the mass migration and whatnot. All right, cool. SPX 1.4. So this is fair value, and the deltas are a little bit towards the low end, but not too crazy. And again, these sizzle numbers are all broken. We've seen the number of contracts here stay fairly close to this range. And this is saying that this basically does a 5-day average. And it's saying, oh, the call side is 10 times higher than normal. Like, get out of town. So yeah, if this is broken, what else is broken? It kind of scares me a little bit. All right, but yeah, let's look at SPY and look at the retail side. Okay. 1.8. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, retail's a little bit skittish. Okay. Well, rents do, so maybe that's why. All right. So yeah, let's go to our cousin indexes and see what else is shaking up. All right. So let's look at the Nasdaq, and it's kind of pacing the S&P 500, giving up a little bit of a gain, 0.2% almost. And let's see, put call ratio about 1.5. Again, 1.4 is a normal day. Deltas don't look too extreme at all compared to S&P. So yeah, this is just a normal day for tech. Yeah, pretty flat. Okay. Let's pivot to the schizophrenic side of the indexes, which is the Russell 2000. This guy loves to overreact to everything. And today is no exception. So, and in the put call ratio, fair value in the post-COVID world has been 2.3. So let's see what the number is today. 1.1. This is extremely bullish. And yeah, this the Russell 2000 loves to do extremes. So yeah, pretty bullish here, interestingly enough. I guess it's the general Easter effect. And let's also look at the diamonds. This is hardly traded at all compared to the other big boy indexes, but it's nice to look at the sentiment. And in theory, this is the dumb money, right? So yeah. And usually this is the most bullish index, generally speaking, but it's 1.9, which is kind of out of character to be bearish. So yeah, across the board, we're seeing a lot of opinions here. Everyone has a pretty, I guess, it's a pretty divergent spread of ideas here, at least across the indexes. And for kicks, we gotta look at the VIX. And what obscene number is it today? 12, 13, 11? Okay, 13.02. Okay, that's hilarious. We have more active war zones than points on the VIX. Like, this is ridiculous. And as you can see, people are very bullish for the SPX to go down. Okay, cool. All right. And again, the CBOE, this is not really considered the fear index, but I guess it's a close proxy, but yeah. Okay, let's go back to our notes and go to our fear and greed index. Let's see. Meanwhile, what has bubbled up on our chats? Okay, cool. I'll take a look at the on-chain stuff when we get to that part. Okay, cool. All right, let's look at our market breadth type stuff. And I love that analytic. This number got as low as 62 this week, but now it's back at 70. But finally, we're seeing a little bit of fear getting injected. So yeah, let's see. According to CNN, they're still, again, fixated on a 125-day moving average. I would love to see the research on why they picked that duration. And comparing 52-week highs versus 52-week lows overall, we're still skewed onto the high side. So that indicates extreme greed. But I kind of like the stock price breadth a little bit better as a way to gauge the market. So this compares the number of shares overall on the New York Exchange rising versus falling. So it's kind of like a moving median, as it were. So we're still skewed towards the greed side, but not, I mean, it's not too far from the 50% range here. And then put call ratio as a whole, COVID in 2019 was north of 2.0. So we're very far away from seeing the knife even attempt to fall. So the market will continue to go up until this number goes higher towards 2.0. All right, cool. And here we're also seeing some volatility data. And again, this is so undervalued, but will this stay undervalued like this until November? How many months do we got? Half a year? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay. And let's shift to the Stock Traders Almanac. So this is a lot of great, I guess, data science, I guess using modern lingo to look at historical trends. But yeah, Jeffrey Hershen's team, and they're also a past speaker at SVOG as well. That's in our content library. But yeah, here's the March read. So yeah, we almost have March analytics, right? So we could compare the results. And overall, let's just go to SPY stock. Let's just ask the browser to give us the 1 month read. So roughly speaking, we went up about 3% for the month, roughly speaking, plus or minus a couple days. Okay, so let's keep that back in our mind, 3%. All right, so the March reads as mid-month strength, late-month weakness are most evident above. Recent record, 13, S&P is 13 up, 8 down, averaging 1.1%, the 5th best overall. It's rather turbulent in recent years with wild fluctuations and large gains and losses. March 2020, Dow declined 13.7%, worst March loss since 1938. And March has been taking some mean end of quarter hits with the down 1469 Dow points in March of 2001. And last 3 of 4 days, Dow's a net loser, 22 out of the last 34 years. And the NASDAQ is hard hit in 2001, down 14.5% after a 22.4% drop in February. It was the second worst NASDAQ month during presidential election years, averaging 1.6% down. And blah, 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 third Dow month to gain more than 1,000 points in 2016. Wow. Okay. So obviously this March is very optimistic compared to the historical data. And yeah, so again, we're up 3% and this should be like 1.1. So that's 3 times the expected move, as it were. Okay. And yeah, it's no problems in the world, right? And then looking at April, let's see, April is still the best Dow month since 1950, averaging 1.9%. And we should just do a paper trade on this. Let me write that down. Why? Well, we just test these hypotheses. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll paper trade. I'll set this up on in the first trading day of April. But yeah, we'll just set up a nice easy spread at the money on the Dow and see how it goes. All right, and then let's see. April 1999, first month ever to gain 1,000 Dow points. 856 in 2001, and then knocked off its high horse in 2002. Blah blah blah. Generally, it's been up 16 straight years from 06 to 2021. April 2020, Dow was up 11%, best April since 1938. And that was the COVID recovery. Yeah, that's right. Oh, no, wait, COVID recovery? 20? No. This isn't, no, sorry, this.
Yes, it is, because that's when they start injecting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is COVID recovery. Yeah. March was the rip your face off moment. And then April 2020 was when oil futures went negative. That's right. Okay. Let's see. Exhibit strength after tax deadline recent years, blah, blah, blah. Stocks anticipate great first quarter earnings by rising sharply before earnings are reported rather than after. Rarely a dangerous month. Recent exceptions are 02, 04, 05, and 2022. Let's see, best 6 months of the year ends with April. Presidential election year, April since 1950, Dow is up 1.5%, S&P 1.3%, NASDAQ 0.9%. And then end of April, NASDAQ strength fades. But yeah, with $1 trillion popping off every 100 days, you can inflate a lot of asset classes though. All right. Cool. So should be an optimistic April if bridges stop collapsing, I guess. Okay. Again, my apologies. I don't have the sector rotation data whatsoever. We'll have that for next week when I fix my other laptop. And let's see if there's any fun earnings for today for all of my data gang hustlers. Looks like we're out of luck. We got some smaller companies here, but I don't see any big names that I recognize. Ooh, no clue. And how many tickers are on all the US exchanges? 4,000 total? Something like that. Like we don't have a Wilshire 5,000 anymore, right? Let's see what else. Again, I don't recognize any of these things. All right, it's gonna be a boring earnings weekend. And yeah, most of the fun stuff is already passed. And then looking at into next week, oh yeah, it's just weird oddballs. Dave & Buster's. Didn't we have like a guy who loved trading Dave & Buster's and like theme parks? David, right? If you guys remember from like 2-3 years ago, he like disappeared. Hopefully he didn't blow up his account or something. But yeah, looks like that's kind of the last couple fun things. What day is this? This is Wednesday. We got BlackBerry, Levi Strauss, some sports stuff, some gold mining. Yeah. Christmas is over, guys. We'll have to wait another 2 months for earnings again. Oh, okay. Oh, Kira Sushi. This is the revolving sushi belt thing. There's a location in Livermore next to the outlets and another location in North San Jose. It's pretty decent, cheap sushi for what it is. And what is a vegetarian doing with revolving sushi? Homie is ordering avocado hand rolls, inari, and eating cucumber maki and dumb stuff like that. But yeah.
What's the name of the restaurant in Livermore?
Kira Sushi. It's just the stupid revolving sushi thing.
Kura.
Yeah.
Sushi. Oh.
Wait.
Is it good?
It is actually. I'm kind of surprised. Everything's fresh. It's made by illegals with stolen social security numbers.
Social security and a free debit card and phone and everything.
Right. So the owners can pass on the savings to you as the consumer.
Oh, we gotta look at it that way, right?
There you go. But yeah, I think it's like under $4 a plate. So how many plates can you eat? So yeah, and then all the nigiri stuff is I think like there's singles or doubles depending on the price of the fish. But I just mainly order like avocado hand rolls galore, and I'll kill like 8 of those or something.
Okay.
And then tamago, that's right. That's the only thing I can eat there. And
Oh.
so ramen noodles and mochi.
Oh, they have something else too, not just the sushi.
Yeah, and it's
They
fun
have
for families and
tempura.
kids. They have like a vending machine thing that's attached to every table, and it's a cool
Oh.
concept. Oh, maybe that's why I like this, because it's all vending machine oriented, and Warren loves vending machines, obviously. Okay, I should have grown up in Japan. Like I need to talk. All right. Meanwhile, let's look at what the fish are trading. And it's always good to understand your enemy. Not that the idiots on Wall Street bets are the enemy, but these Gen Z and millennial kids that have no idea what they're doing, and they're just going long options. Yeah, like they don't know what to do. But yeah, let's see. Presidente number 45 renamed DWAC to DJT, and he's selling Bibles now besides shoes and other things. I mean, you got to hand it to him. That guy is a master troll, and he takes merchandising to another level. All right, and then let's see what else we got. NVIDIA, MicroStrategies, we got Reddit. Nicola, what the hell? They're still alive? They should be sweating bullets with Fisker about to go bankrupt. But yeah, and then Tesla, Apple, TSM, AMC, AMD, Bitcoin, the Qs, Robinhood, Meta, Supermicro, Palantir, Mara. Why does Quorn always pop up here? Intel. Oh, this is Rumble, Gold, Carnival Cruise Lines, Tilray, Coinbase. What is this? Canopy? Yeah. Okay. So that's what the kids on Robinhood are mostly trading. So these guys are buying options, just going long and going YOLO and max FOMO galore. Okay. And we'll look at the other companion sites to this, and we get a better sense of sentiment. But I think this is overlapping data. I do like Quiver Quant here, and shout out to Flaw for finding these last two sites. So for the last 30 days, looks like NVIDIA, again, is still carrying the bulk of the market. And the next closest thing is just SPY itself, and then the AI buzzword and everything else. But yeah, it's still NVIDIA for the most part. And then on the 7-day week look at, a lot of Trump activity here, Reddit, and yeah, okay. All right. And let's take a look at DJT really quick, actually. Oh wow, it's moving. This is volatile as hell. Put call ratio almost 1.0. And yeah, down 6% on the day already. I would we could get in on some action here and sell the upside, if you know what I mean. But I can't talk and trade at the same time. Okay, it's all good. Let's see. What else is in the chat? The borrowing fee is 500%. Wait, for that, but that's for short selling, right? Can you expand on that, Flaw? The borrowing fee? Where do you see that? Is that on FinViz?
Oh, you don't see it. It was on the news.
Oh, okay.
What are the spreads like?
They're decent. This is the weekly expiring today, right? It's penny tight. Almost. Yeah, almost penny tight.
62.
Yeah. Let's see what it'd say. MicroStrategy's down 10% today, while Bitcoin's up 1.8%. Can you guess what Michael Saylor is doing? He's studied the game already. Homeboy is borrowing money to go to town. He's buying the dip.
He's shorting the stock, actually.
He
So
is?
he's told you, yeah, he's going to short the stock to buy more Bitcoin.
What stocks is he shorting?
His own. He's going to short
Oh.
MSTR.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, well, because we've seen this huge shoot up in MSTR versus Bitcoin, and he's like, "That's great. So I'm going to sell the stock and I'm going to acquire more Bitcoins. So there will be more Bitcoin per share. That's the game. Like he's giving the
Oh,
game away. He's basically like, fuck you, I'm buying Bitcoin. The rest of this shit goes to zero. I mean, it's kind of a Max Kaiser moment. So
Where did he state this?
he's talked about it, like he talked about it at Bitcoin Atlantis, and he's you know, it's kind of in the memes,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, basically that, I mean, he's made it clear. In fact, there was like a thing on Twitter yesterday where he was at this investor conference for these high net worth folks, and one of the investors asked him, you know, I've done much better basically buying MSTR and being a fucking degenerate. He didn't say that, but that was the implication, than buying Bitcoin, you know. So basically, like, what's your answer? And basically, Saylor said, fuck you, buy Bitcoin. I mean, nicely in a business affirmative fashion, but essentially was like, you're a dumbass, you don't understand the fundamentals, buy Bitcoin. Anyway, that was all. Just thought it was funny because this was one of the swaggy stocks, and I'm not surprised considering how ridiculously degenerate it has been recently.
but Ed, I have a question though. MSTR is his own company, right? It's a software company that
Yeah.
he founded.
Yep.
Now the MSTR stocks itself, a lot of people trade it as a proxy to Bitcoin, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I hold some as a proxy to Bitcoin, but if you go back to like Warren Buffett, right, the way that you buy something like that is, you know, since they're holding a significant amount of their treasury as Bitcoin, you want to know how much Bitcoin per share that you have, right? And so the name of the game is essentially he's using all of the fiat mechanisms, borrowing debt at, you know, 0.6% for 5 years and buying Bitcoin. He's got convertible, you know, debt to stock, where if it goes up enough, you can convert to stock. It's all these games to basically suck money out of the existing monetary system and into Bitcoin. Anyway, it's just amusing to me just to see it on the degenerate list. So, and everyone getting all hyped up about it. But like, when they should have been hyped up about it is there was a point, I think it was like last year when I was buying, and the year before, when it actually, when you bought a share of MicroStrategy, it was cheaper. It was like GBTC when there was
Yeah, it was like about $300 some back then.
Right,
$400.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's the smart time to be buying MSTR, is when it's actually below the book value of the treasury asset that it holds, right? So it's just it's the understanding between a value investment and being a degen. So anyway,
So, I mean, didn't he buy a lot? Didn't he get a lot of money to buy more Bitcoin,
he
right?
just keeps fucking buying Bitcoin. He just
Right,
bought
just
like
keep
$1
buying
billion
it.
the other week. Yeah, he'll just keep
Right.
buying it. So yeah, you keep pumping his stock and he's gonna sell the fucking stock and he's gonna buy more Bitcoin. Like,
Right. Isn't the Bitcoin that he been buying is in the books of the company, in the
yes,
MSTR?
yes, they hold it as their treasury asset, like most companies hold US treasuries and dollars. They hold like it's now over 1% of the supply of Bitcoin. It's like 210,000 Bitcoin or something like that. It's still less than the amount of IBIT that's held by BlackRock, which is amazing. But anyway, yeah, that's the game. So that's, if you're like, why is MSTR down when Bitcoin is up? Well, because MSTR went degen up like the last week or so, and Bitcoin has basically been flat. And so he's taken that opportunity to go, great, let me sell some of this and buy more Bitcoin. So
Excellent. And then I had a question for you, Ed. Again, I'm a crypto neophyte. Uh, I was listening to a Peter Schiff podcast, and he was explaining how Tether is used to generate cash to buy Bitcoin, and then Tether itself is kind of has some fraudulent issues with how it's staked or something. if you could maybe.
Yeah, so
like-
Tether is so back up. Like, what is Tether? So Tether is what they call a stable coin,
Stablecoin.
which is supposed to be backed essentially by US dollars. And the problem is you're still relying on us. This is a problem, and this is a difference. Like, what is the difference between Bitcoin and crypto? So most crypto still works the way that the traditional financial system works, which is you are trusting a centralized third party. In this case, you're trusting the creator of Tether, that they're doing what they say they're doing. It's the same thing like with Tesla, right? You're trusting the board, you're trusting Elon, that they're fucking building the right shit and doing the things that they're supposed to be doing to building a profitable company. But obviously, if they're being a bunch of degens and being crappy in the background or committing fraud or whatever, then that's why it can be dangerous to hold a single stock over a long term, because you're taking on that counterparty risk. So that's the same thing that's true with Tether, right? It's not backed even by the US government, which, I would argue is also a single point of failure as well. It's a more reputable single point of failure. Peter Schiff traditionally hates Bitcoin because he learned about it in 2013 and basically was just like, no, bro, it's all gold, So he throws a lot of FUD into, so I don't know what his particular FUD is, but like, just understand he's interested in gold and he doesn't like Bitcoin because it basically, his whole fund, everything about his game is about gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So there's a built-in bias in there. Are there some users who are converting, especially in the crypto space, things between Tether and Bitcoin? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like when Senator Warren says, do some criminals, including, certain T words, use Bitcoin? Sure, they do. But of course, they also really like using the US dollar because like it's money, right? So I would say the same thing is true about Bitcoin, right? Yeah, they use it because it's money. And it just happens to be a better decentralized form of money than many other forms of money. So anyway, I don't know what his particular FUD is, but like the bottom line is Tether is more akin to a company like Tesla, in some ways, in that there is a single point of failure. Obviously, the business model is different, right? But it's a business, and that's the logical thing of where actually I don't disagree with the head of the SEC that basically Bitcoin is a commodity and everything else, all other crypto are securities. I agree with that assessment because all other securities are insufficiently decentralized. I mean, the reason that something is a commodity is typically because of completely different properties than a stock. And one of those is no central point of issuance, right? There's no single gold miner that holds all the gold, hopefully, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. And in fact, I would argue Bitcoin is better decentralized because you have tens of thousands of individual nodes versus a single CEO, or for example, for US dollars, it comes down two parties, right? You have two nodes effectively for the US dollar, which is the US Treasury and the Federal Reserve. Those are your two nodes. And of course, there's a lot of overlap between those two nodes. You have the same problems, by the way, with Ethereum. Ethereum has a foundation. It has a founder, essentially, with Vitalik, and there's only 34 nodes. And also, it's extremely difficult and almost impossible to set up your own node versus Bitcoin nodes. Basically you could run a node on your phone. You don't even need technology as sophisticated as a phone. You can have folks in Africa with really basic Raspberry Pi parts running a node. So that's what makes it categorically different.
Got it. Thank you so much for that overview. Appreciate it.
And also to answer the Tether and also all those stable coins, it's also basically an on-ramp for people if they want to trade crypto. It's just easier for them.
Well, even beyond crypto. So I will say this about stablecoins. What is their use case? It's just a different use case than Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's use case is another money, another actual currency. For something like stablecoins, what it is you're in Egypt, there are many barriers for you acquiring US dollars, right? You would
Right.
like US dollars because your currency is being debased at an insane rate, right? Compared to the US dollar. But you can't get them. So and same thing in Argentina. You have to go on the black market to get US dollars, right? So stable coins do provide a very valuable and real use case for these countries that are in dire straits and need things like US dollars. So I won't say there's no use case, but the risk then becomes you're trusting this company that that they actually are going to back their currency with dollars the way that they say they do. And there isn't any proof, right? So with Bitcoin, I can go on, I'm actually looking at it right now. Like I run 3 nodes, right? I can verify the truth of a transaction. I can verify the truth of all of the history of Bitcoin. You cannot verify the truth of the history of, whether they're actually backing their stable coin. And that's what happened with like Luna, right? Basically, that was another stable coin that was not properly backed and basically exploded. And so you could see that type of a situation. I'm not saying that's true about Tether or any of these other ones, but like you just don't know. And that's really what it boils down to. Other use cases, like Ethereum's use case, is they want to be the new Web3 Visa. So it's a different use case. They want more features, they want contracts, they want a bunch of other stuff, but it's a completely different use case. And to me, it is a security. I absolutely agree with the SEC on that. So
Excellent. And
to clarify, I want to say, because you said earlier, and this is why I say Bitcoin, not crypto. What Larry Fink is excited about is Bitcoin, not crypto. So that's the actual headline. That's actually something, and he made that very clear. Like that, if you listen to the interview of what he was talking about, that was what he was excited about. Obviously, about his ETF, which is the fastest growing ETF in history, but also the fact that he was surprised that there was this much demand for Bitcoin. It surprised even him. So there you go.
And also, he was talking about the tokenization of all the assets. So
Yeah.
In order to tokenize all the assets, it has to be based on the Ethereum platform. So that's why they're trying to push the ETH ETF.
Yeah,
so he's bullish on Bitcoin and also
crypto separately. But I think this particular clip was really talking about Bitcoin. So again, they're 2 separate things, and I think that's the main thing that I just want to clarify is it's like apples and orangutans. They're both life forms, but they're completely different.
Yeah, but for companies like BlackRock or any big Fidelity or whatever, all these companies, they are bullish in Bitcoin, crypto. They're bullish in anything that will make them money. So it doesn't matter.
Anything that makes them money, 100%.
They don't care whether it's Bitcoin or it's crypto. They're taking advantage of the situation.
Not even like Kathy would, and I would say she knows, or at least she has articulated in interviews that she understands what the real principles are of Bitcoin better than any of these other fund managers.
These people probably don't
heard.
care. They don't understand it. Don't care.
But again, like her purpose is to make her fund money. So like if Ethereum will do that, if whatever thing will do that, then they'll be about it. Anyhow, that is what it is.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. And we'll shift gears to the legacy financial institutions on the other end of the spectrum here, and let's look at New York Community Bancorp, NYCB. This is the contagion that swallowed Signature Bank and had a recent bail-in that screwed up a soft short here, but that's okay. I'll be back for more. But yeah, let's see.
$3, okay.
Yeah, lots of outflows. People are not convinced, and yeah, down 3% for the day. It's getting.
How do you even trade it? It's hard to
Yeah.
trade a $3 stock.
There's not a lot of gears to play with, right?
Yeah, nothing.
So look, if we go to the monthlies, which might have more pickup and use, I don't know, how would you do this? If you sold a call spread, would this even fill? Uh, 5 cents. Will this even work? I don't know. Oh, it's
Not worth
also
it.
nickel increment. Oh, this would just be a nightmare. You just have to drop. You have to just buy straight puts.
Yeah,
Okay, getting out of theta decay zone, you'd have to go to like here's the next after 60-day count would be like July. So if we bought, I mean, I guess you could buy puts here. A lot of people have, especially today, tens of thousands of puts here and lots of longs too. So it's quite the gamble. Okay. But let's look at the betting public. All right. Betting public thinks it's gonna rebound. They're buying the dip like a mofo. Okay. Okay, with that in mind, let's look at the parent ETF. So this is KRE. It's all the regional banks. And pretty bearish today on the snapshot. Let's look at who makes up this. And here we go. All right. So this has been shuffling around a lot since we've been looking at this since Silicon Valley Bank got decimated. Let's see. So we got Western Alliance as top dog now. Regions is number 2. Citizens is number 3. Ozarks picking up. East West Bancorp for all the Asians is now number 7. And First Horizon's number 8. And where is New York? New York Community Bank is lucky number 13. Ha ha ha. Okay. So yeah, since there's not a lot of room for New York Bancorp to like, yeah, the risk and reward for downside activity is kind of limited. We can maybe look at KRE as a potential candidate. But then again, with the Federal Reserve backstopping them at every turn, shorts are short-lived overall. But yeah, we'll keep our eye on this. Okay, let's shift to more stuff. All right, onward to domestic news. Okay, let's look at the latest Hertz sell figures on Tesla Model 3. So let's pull that up. Hertz car sales, Tesla.
So I have a dumb question here, Warren, about the Hertz car sales. Why did they decide to sell off this inventory? Because it sounded like in the headline, they're not only selling these vehicles, but they're not going to be replacing them with new electric vehicles. Is that correct?
Correct. So the EV investment has been a disaster. So just from a logistical standpoint, how long does it take to charge a vehicle? And if you're on a vacation, in Oahu, how do you even orchestrate your schedule around charge, around super stations and whatnot? And assuming there's even infrastructure for that. So that's the fuel aspect, right? And then there's also the repair aspect. So the total cost of ownership is astronomically higher per unit. And if there's any damage, again, there's a limited supply of bodybuilders that are even willing to work with potentially explosive lithium cells that might have been damaged. I mean, because chassis damage is really different for an ICE car versus an EV. And it's just not, I mean, so there's a limited supply of aftermarket repair, and even insurance is a lot more complicated, right? And that's why Tesla's getting into the Tesla insurance game. So it's just a colossal.
Because I had heard like maintenance, not necessarily repair, like in an accident, but I had heard that maintenance cost was supposed to be lower and I'm not a Tesla owner, so I'm just curious.
Yeah. Maintenance costs are lower, except your tire expenditures go up. And they found out that 20% of all microplastics are from tires. And that's probably disproportionately EVs, because the cars are naturally heavier by 2x. And there's so much more torque, right? There's maximum torque for electric motors, right? Just from the first step on the pedal. So you have a heavier car, you have more torque, you're going to burn a lot more rubber.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we're just tracking the prices here. So And then when rental car company fleets liquidate their vast legions of cars, it decimates the resale value. And this is why Honda Accords are not the #1 selling vehicle in America, because they don't do fleet sales, but they instantly would become #1, even above Camry and all the other variants under Toyota. Because basically the Honda philosophy is they want to protect the resale value of the individual consumer and not just cater to big whales. And Toyota doesn't give a shit. They just want to sell more overall units. And both philosophies have worked, but I just want to demonstrate that fleet sales do move the market as well. And as you can see here, the mileage number is basically 100,000 miles. Like all the managers are told, like, do not let it get past 90,000 something. We found one last week in the screenshots in the notes, but we've only seen one since we've been looking at this since mid-January. But yeah, today the cheapest Model 3 is 19.4 out of looks like the Midwest. And you got to think about this. It's 2024, right? This car's been running about 3 years, just nonstop, 30,000 miles per year. How many miles is that per day? Almost 100 miles a day. God, you just think about the charging and all of the issues around this. It'd just be a nightmare. So, you know, tourists in the Midwest running around in the snow and whatnot, like it's just gotta be a nightmare.
How much is it to rent a Tesla
We can figure that out in just a second. If you
for a day?
can plug it in, yeah. It's not cheap. I was looking at cars because my trusty inline-4 Toyota finally died, and the timing chain ripped apart, and there was no way I could figure that out, you know, being a humble weekend mechanic. But yeah, it was just its time. It had 280,000 miles, and it was 20 years old. So yeah, it finally died. Oh, where did that image go? Oh, it's in my other thing. Oh, hold on, let me go back and get it. Okay. Where did the screenshot go? Here we go. Sorry, all my laptop workflow is a little different because I'm not on my main computer. Whoops. Where is Brave? Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. So 13.4 and 95,000 miles. And this is a new one. It's available on 4.2. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, if you guys ever open up a rental car company, go ICE vehicles. All right, so that's Tesla. Oh, let's look at Tesla stock. How can we not talk about this? Has Amr talked about this in a bit? He owns a lot of Tesla shares, and he's been writing covered calls on that forever. Was that a sneeze or what was that? But yeah, let's see. Momentum. Wow. It's been below the zero line for the last 90 days. Everyone's been selling. Nothing but net selling for the last 90 days here on the left quadrant. That's hard. You cannot outfight gravity when everyone's selling. Yeah, that's a little scary. Almost 1.666 on the put call ratio. Wow. Dark times for Elon. Wait till Elon's Me Too cases really come out. You guys haven't seen the Puff Daddy stuff, but that was from Cat Williams' Shannon Sharp interview about 6 to 8 weeks ago. And now P. Diddy's literally on the run. He just got raided yesterday. His 3 homes in New York, Miami, and LA. And yeah, he's gonna be slapped with the Mann Act and all kinds of shenanigans. But yeah, okay. Where am I? Okay, let's go to the next phase with domestic news. Okay, speaking of black swans, let's dig into the first major one. So there's a lot of articles here. And the timing is really interesting. So let me kind of walk you guys through this. So basically, I always wanted to learn how to con a ship, but that just wasn't, I guess, fated in this lifetime. But My second oldest sister is went to the Merchant Marines and became a commissioned Navy officer. So I would have loved to pick her brain, but unfortunately we're not on speaking terms. But effectively, there is the captain, and then there's pilots on the shore that guide each container ship in. And somehow the official story that came out immediately was this was not a cyber attack, and this was just an accident, which is kind of suspicious. And supposedly there's folks talking that it was dirty fuel. But container ships have two types of fuel that they draw on. There's the one that they use for shore operations, and then they have the really dirty stuff that they only burn when they're, out in international waters. And but yeah, timing of this is just incredible. Who did this? Maybe the better question is to maybe not talk about this and jump to the Kremlin first and look at what happened with Moscow. So if you guys looked at this, a lot of folks on Zero Hedge comments was talk about this, and the general consensus is that this wasn't really ISIS. This is the same folks who did the Nord Stream pipeline, which is, US and British forces, and questionable Navy SEAL units that were just doing drills in the area at the time. And with explosives, none as well. So you need underwater welding skills and explosives to pull this off. But yeah. If you guys haven't seen the Nord Stream analysis by the famous newspaper columnist, what's his name? Something Seymour, if you guys know who I'm talking about. Where's the article? Hirsch, okay. Hirsch. He did an amazing breakdown of what happened, and it's presented very, very well, and it's NATO and US forces that did it. So I'll leave this link in the chat. Feel free to dig this up. So the same folks responsible for this that wanted Germany not accessing cheap energy through Russia is the same folks responsible for these other false flag attacks. So yeah. And then could Baltimore be blowback for this? I think potentially, but to me, it seems like I would blame the Chinese. I think it's industrial sabotage from that end. So this kind of goes back to our black swan list. But yeah, so yeah, again, too many articles here, but feel free to look at any one of them. I'm very suspicious, and we'll see how it goes. But if you look at the lack of critical infrastructure, we've had so many fires and attacks on food processing plants. East Palestine, hello, things just blowing up. Yeah, all kinds of shenanigans. But yeah, this is going to affect a lot of people, a lot of logistics, and then here's Baltimore still having its own DEI related garbage. There's just no redemption for these very, I guess, DNC friendly places. But yeah, here's Carnival Cruise warning of impacting or an impact of their revenue with this port closed. And then here's coal shipments that'll be affected. Truckers, auto shipping, all kinds of stuff. Like how much raw tonnage goes through here. I mean, there's Norfolk as well, but this is one of 3 major East Coast ports, right? It's Miami, Norfolk. Am I forgetting anything else? I think New York has a smaller one to a certain extent. But yeah, something like that. Okay. But yeah, let's get on to other stuff.
So Warren,
I
do you
wanted
think...
to. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead, Wani. I'll make a comment
Oh,
too.
I was gonna ask, do you think this is some sort of a sabotage on this?
I think it's possible. And then if you look at the official story, they're saying, oh, there was a GPS error on the helm that affected this. And we talked about this before. If you guys remember Tomorrow Never Dies, the whole premise of this James Bond movie was they used the translocator chip of missiles to redirect ships. And so your GPS coordinates just were incorrect. And this is how the villain wanted to, what is it? Mr. Carver wanted to start World War III. That was the whole premise of the movie. So when I saw people talking about, it was a global positioning issue, I just called bullshit. And don't forget, there's also physical line of sight. Even if all your instrumentation fails and your GPS coordinates are garbage, you can look out the window and see, oh, we've parked here before. I think something's wrong. And yeah, the captain had enough time to call the cops so that the bridge had traffic shut down, but couldn't do anything else, like dropping anchors to increase drag or anything else. But yeah.
And also like the time of the incident, the 1 a.m. in the morning instead of during the rush hour to minimize the whatever.
Yeah, so very low civilian death count. Like, well,
right,
great,
right.
But everything else is a disaster.
But
yeah.
Well, I agree that this does look suspicious in a number of ways, and that you know, if it were deliberate, you couldn't ask for a more perfectly executed act of sabotage. But the kind of odd thing about it is this ship is owned by Singapore, not China.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding is that most of the crew members of the ship were from India. So that kind of makes me wonder, if it were some kind of deliberate act, who would really have been behind it?
I mean, Q bono, right? Who benefits? And it's not like the American government has been really supportive of productive Americans anyway. I mean, they're giving room and board and badges and military uniforms to illegals. They're inflating our currency to the high heavens. They're busy trading our stock market for their own gains like there's no tomorrow. They have offshore everything, bunkers in New Zealand, Hawaii, blah, 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 blah. They laugh at us as peons and peasants, and they just throw bread and circuses our way, right? So
yeah, definitely.
Time of day is kind of critical because you don't want to fight the tides. There's quite a few reasons why you might go at a certain time of day, even though it's right in the middle of the night. You have to put in a lot of fuel, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why time of day is important in a bay.
Yeah, but that's the most important port on the East Coast. And
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I mean LA is the biggest on the US side by tonnage, but that's on the other side of the ocean. And the Atlantic side is still really important. Yeah. So
if it were to be a sabotage, what would be the purpose of this?
Well, how many people hate America? There's a
lot.
list,
everyone.
Half the world. Yeah.
Half the world more. Yes.
I mean, even Americans in America aren't thrilled, right? So, if you want to create, I mean, chaos is a ladder. And if you want to have, I mean, no matter what, if you want to challenge an existing incumbent power, you have to destroy the long-standing infrastructure and those who benefit. So obviously, America's been blessed to have amazing geography and shipping, and the strength of the US Navy has kept America strong since the, World War I days, really, right? Like we avoided all the World War I, damage. And in World War II, we came in like a freight train. So, part of destroying that, if you think about it this way, the Red Sea is gone, right? It's controlled by Iran and Houthis, right? So that's 12% of global shipping volume. I don't have metrics on Baltimore, but let's just look. Baltimore global shipping volume.
That would be an argument of why the federal government should potentially jump in. I mean, they definitely need to jump in with judges, for example, and having fixers involved.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you guys remember, you guys remember when the other canal got closed because it rammed into the wall or something? Where was
Yeah.
it? Oh, that was
Uh,
the Panama Canal, or which canal? You guys remember
Um,
that?
The Sinai.
yeah, it's the one down by Egypt.
The
Yeah, it was the
Suez
Sinai Canal.
Yeah. And then it was stuck there for how many days? 2 or 3 days.
Months.
And yeah, yeah, and he couldn't get it off. And then there was
Oh,
Hillary
yeah, yeah,
Clinton
yeah.
rumors about container ships loaded with people and
Yeah,
uh
child trafficking and all
right.
that.
And then
Yeah.
that got buried really fast. And just very interesting things. So and if you guys are into like contraband and drug logistics, all major drug dealers play with seafood as a front for or seafood and agriculture for as a front to move goods. And you occasionally leak you sacrifice some shipments on purpose so that the when you're playing cowboys and Indians, the cowboys can brag, oh, we had a big bust, we got this one, blah 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 big haul, and then 99% of everything else still went through the border correctly. So yeah.
One other interesting thing is that this particular ship that hit the Baltimore Bridge had another collision in Belgium, I think it was, at
What?
some earlier point.
Do we have a ship name?
I've forgotten what the name of it is.
Let's look that up.
I saw that article too. They crashed into the dock.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't turn the ship properly somehow.
Yeah.
um I mean, again, none of us are officers on a ship, but there's so many checks and balances for that not to happen that when it does happen, it's kind of odd. All right, well, I can't find it, but yeah. Oh, it's already 11:30. Oh my God, we got to speed up. All right, so yeah, lots of questions, and then I guess the key takeaway is, our supply chain is more vulnerable than we ever imagined, and uh just just prepare for chaos. I don't know what else to say. Maybe we do need to buy VIX calls, 6 months out or something. Okay. But then again,
Well,
if you don't want data decay, we can just buy SQQQ, but then that gets rebalanced over time. So you're losing purchasing power. Oh, I don't know. There's so many ways to short the market. But yeah. Dave, you had
US always thinks that they're so strong. I mean,
what
a
was
lot
that?
of this comes down to, a wake-up call.
Yeah. I mean, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
I hope everyone else is, looking at, are you prepared for chaos? And
Well, and we, I'm trying to think when it was. We had people with poisonous stuff, on train cars above, like, the water supply for LA, and I mean, there's all kinds of weird shit that we always saw in the conspiracy theorists watched a lot of this.
I mean, East Palatine explosion still like blows my mind, and zero
Yeah.
investigation about that. But suddenly they found Tupac's killer. Like, please look over there at that squirrel, right? Like, come on, guys. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. Shifting gears, talking about food production and illegals. Let's see, we got some fun screw worm cases. And I just think back to Larry's point a couple weeks ago that all of this infectious disease bullshit tends to happen in New Mexico for some reason. I mean, proximity is a big deal, but it's disproportionately just New Mexico. Like for tuberculosis, bubonic plague, like, I don't know, we have questions, but yeah. So yeah, apparently this is now affecting the cattle herd. Like, why would illegals take the time to mess with like cows? But yeah, I
Well,
don't.
Maybe it's all the atomic bomb tests.
they definitely get hired by these people, and pooping in the water isn't helping.
That's right. Typhoid and cholera and dysentery
Yeah.
and swamp butt, right? Ugh.
But one other issue is some of the cows around the country are now getting infected with the avian flu. That's causing some problems too.
But there was no gain of function research with SARS-1 to begin with, supposedly.
Yeah, right.
And
Right.
then I found out that the Ukraine biolabs are still in operation. This is
Yeah,
one.
they were.
No, no.
Because Russia was complaining about it as recently as 6 months ago.
Yeah, to today, it's still in operation. And then we find, biolabs in California, and no comments about that. Chinese run ones, and they have, Ebola and everything else like in a fridge, and no further comments. So yeah, just be careful, guys. And then I don't know, like it's just a nightmare here. But yeah, okay. Next doom and gloom article. So yes, speaking of cows, the omnibus bill itself has a provision for cattle tracking, which may limit the beef supply. And like as a how old am I? 37. As a 19-year vegetarian veteran, like let me be first to say like please eat like meat, buy organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised good stuff, and like do not listen to the elites and eat bugs and get like Beyond Meat and all that garbage. If Cola, is eating fresh meat every day, from his vegetarian owner, like that's kind of a big deal. And if you guys ever looked at how hot dogs or sausages or dog food is made, it should terrify you. If it doesn't, you got problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you try to tell like pet owners, right, about like, oh, you should feed fresh food and all of that stuff, they don't believe you.
The smart ones do. It's just really expensive.
Yeah, they're so brainwashed into believing that, it's not good for them, human food. I said, how could you not believe it? I don't understand it.
Well, they feed them wheat and corn.
I know.
Yeah,
And all the
Full of all
process.
kinds of fillers.
And they're
Yeah.
not designed for that. And yeah,
Exactly.
and that's why most cattle ranches that are not grass-fed, they smell horrible. And same thing with the pigs. They smell horrible, and their waste products are different because they're not designed to eat corn. Like they produce a lot more waste in general than
Yeah, that's why so many antibiotics.
right. And then it poisons
And the same thing with chickens.
supply. And this is why I can't live in the Central Valley, even though it's dirt cheap and it's pretty red, right? It just smells like shit everywhere, and
Like desert.
I can't stand it. Like,
There's places in Stockton that do smell like shit, though.
yeah, no, like I was
There's
just,
humongous mounds of poop.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of interesting.
And I should love the Central Valley, but I just can't stand it. It's too flat and there's too much like shit in the air, literally speaking.
It is too
Yeah,
flat.
it's way too flat. Like I need elevation. I'm a shooter. I need line of sight, you know?
You could live in the foothills.
Yeah.
It
all right.
is notable to me that the Venn diagram for this group and our Bitcoin group seems to be a commonality of an appreciation, whether you're vegetarian or not, of the ability to have your own beef and maybe interest in homesteading. So I
yeah.
left a message in there. It's actually something our other group is researching actively. Oh, and also guns. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, we're all about alternative investments here.
So what's homestead like? How exactly? What do you do?
What's a homestead? It's,
Yeah,
I mean, there's varying
homesteads.
degrees of it, right? But like in general, homesteading is about self-sufficiency to the greatest
Right.
extent possible, right? And there's varying ways that that can be implemented, but it's off-grid. It's basically having your own property, raising your own food, etc. One thing, as I've pointed out to the group, is there's a reason why we solved the double coincidence of wants with trade, because being a farmer is a lot of fucking hard work. But that being said, it might not be a bad idea if you really think the end of the world is nigh to, have an appropriate stop loss, some small investment in that type of a community. So anyway, since it's something that is being brought up in this group as well, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Like, we're actually looking at properties and shit like that. So
Yeah. And
Rabbits.
rabbits is a great source of meat. One of my best friends breeds rabbits, and Cola has had them. He doesn't like it though. It's a little gamey for his taste.
So chickens, the chickens that everybody has, you have to get the eggs because they're bred in a certain way. You have to have 16 bloodlines that you mix in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really messy. And
Correct.
and they actually grow like 3 times as fast. So I mean, there's a reason to do that, but everybody relies on that.
Yeah.
That's why rabbits turns out to be the
And
highest output.
correct. From a yield perspective, rabbit is the best ROI for meat. It just doesn't taste amazing. And again, I don't know, but like
I'm sure that if you feed them better.
yeah. But the cool thing about rabbits versus chickens, chickens have an intermediary step of where you have to incubate the eggs separately from the chicken to hatch actual chickens. And that extra step complicates the workflow quite a bit. And
Or you get the birds already in a big box.
yeah. In a way,
But
ducks
the
are
thing
easier
is
to
the birds that, the little peepers cost a lot of money. My niece grows, I don't know, like 400 a year.
Oh, that's so cool.
400 chickens?
Yeah, meat chicken.
Sacramento?
Wow.
Is she in Sacramento too?
No, they're all in Maine. They lived on a dairy farm, so like that
lucky.
whole my stepsister's kids.
Oh, okay, cool.
I raised chicken like years ago. They're a lot of work. They eat a lot.
Yeah, and they're noisy. Even
They're
without
noisy.
even
Yeah.
without roosters are noisy.
Well, you're not allowed to have roosters in the urban area
Yes.
where I am. Yeah,
So
you can only have hens.
yeah.
They're not that noisy. Hens are not noisy, but they eat a lot. But the good thing is you can just give them any leftover, any food
Yeah.
that you can't finish. It's great that way. And then the fresh eggs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you still end up in the situation where you really have to buy the birds from the special bloodlines because they eat like 1/3 as much to be 3 times as fast.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you grow, if you grow them out all the way, they'll basically die
Correct.
2 months later because they've grown too far.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the same issue is reflected on the growing plant side. Like you need seeds that are not touched by Monsanto with the Terminator gene. You need heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds.
Heirloom, yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
And they're still out there. There's groups that have it. We've been connecting. There's a great local rancher up in Reading that one of our Bitcoiners, he goes up there regularly and is just sourcing meat directly from this rancher who does, it's all grass fed. We've been up there, we visited it. I'll have to get the name of the ranch. I haven't been up there, but a bunch of the other Bitcoin crew have been there personally. And they're just basically we're going direct to the farmer and support the ones that are actually doing the things that you want instead of pumping them full of foreign chemicals and antibiotics and other bullshit that you don't want to be eating. So anyway, it's just, I know it's a little off topic, but like if it's a serious concern, it's worth having a conversation. I would say this group is not the only group that is interested in such.
My friend moved up there and bought some land. He tried to get me involved. It was about $4,000 an acre, and like I would have grabbed 20 acres.
That's pretty good. So is there a way to invest in the homesteads?
No, it's proof of work, Wani. Get your butt out onto the ranch and do work. I'm sorry, just
Well,
like
you
I
buy
just-
the land and hold on to the land.
there's no proof of stake in this game.
No proof
Yeah.
of stake in here.
No, it's proof of work. Get your butt up on the ranch and raise the chicken. I mean, I'm serious to a certain extent, right?
But you
I
can
like
put the
proof of
money down
stake.
on the
Could I
land.
stake some money in?
But
Yeah, no,
you're
I
not
know
gonna
we
get
like
the
proof
4x
of
that
stake
you really
because
want.
then it's rentier class off of the back of the peasants, right? But eventually when the peasants have revolted, then you've got to do your own work. Anyway, sorry, I've totally gone off.
So,
He's really off the grid though.
that's a good
I
one.
should have bought. I had the $40,000 I would have put up.
Is it not available anymore?
No, there's
It's
lots.
not available. He wanted lands. He wanted to gather all his friends to basically be in the same place.
A good one is land search rather than Zillow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a property, I don't know if it's still available, but we were looking at, yeah, so there's a 60-acre ag land for
Manchester?
sale in Manchester
Where's
Oh,
that?
off of
Manchester.
Highway 1. It's near the coast. I
The
think it's up
coast.
north.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Where?
nice.
Where?
60 acres,
Wow.
895,000.
How much is it? 95,000?
No, 895,000. Let's
Oh,
get real.
okay. That's why I
Yeah,
was
the
wondering why
closer
so
you get to the
cheap.
coast.
But you might want to actually live there. I'm like Warren said,
Wow.
part of the problem with some of these other places, it's so hot and dirty and otherwise,
Mhm.
like you're not going to want to live in some of these places versus especially without like air conditioning and shit. So like if you're really homesteading, you're providing your own power, you're providing your own stuff. So you need to be in a somewhat temperate, easy to grow thing
Right.
climate.
You want all of that brush. And I'm trying to think, east of Highway 5 is very different than west of Highway 5.
Oh yeah. Everything west of Highway 5 should be abandoned.
Because like I'm trying to think, Crescent City, again, those people lived up in these weird places. Crescent City gets like 200 inches of rain every year. It's just insane.
Wow.
It's beautiful though.
Anyway, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you can invest in land and stuff, but the real thing with obviously with homesteading is like, yeah, you got to do the work. I mean, that's the one thing we were just talking about. It's like no one wants to invest in the producers anymore. It's also the reason why nobody wants to work anymore is because nobody wants to actually pay what shit is worth. You know, it's like I try explaining this to some of my bosses and stuff is it's like 20 some years ago when I was in this junior position, I was making X dollars per year, and that would allow me to buy a house with a mortgage in Irvine. Today, you'd now have to pay a person $300,000 a year for them to be able to have that same purchasing power. And we're not even close to paying our staff $300,000 a year. So that's why people don't want to work. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a dystopian nightmare. And I am so glad I'm at least above 30 and not under 30 because their life is fucked. Okay. But yeah.
Sorry, way off the deep
No
end.
worries. This is
No,
awesome.
no, this is interesting.
Ed, is there a Discord for your group? That maybe you can share a link. I'm sure there's there's a lot of crypto fans here too.
Yeah. I'll have to ask, like it is in our Bitcoin only Telegram group and they're a bit like protective about their little circle, but I'll mention maybe we can do sort of a collaborative group where, you know, I'll say, hey, we've got these folks who are interested in hard assets like gold and silver, who are also interested in homesteading. Could we do something collaborative?
Like instantly we could have a group buy in Reading and I will go up there and haul back, 2,000 pounds of, ribeye happily. So let me know. I mean, I got a monster here that eats 3 pounds of meat a day. So I need meat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where you get those chuck bundles.
Yeah. I mean, I got carving knives galore, but would like to go direct to the source because I don't like just in time grocery store inventories do worry me a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, the challenge, and we're seeing this with working with the rancher, is they have to deal with real supply constraints. So like I know tonight is usually when our guy comes down and sells the meat, and he's like, I only have I think 2 cuts this time. It's either hamburger or brisket. They don't have any of the other cuts that we sometimes like, or fancier steaks, until April, because that's when they're going to do the next slaughter, right? So that's one of the realities, of course, when you're dealing with these things, is you might get the cuts that you get, right? And of course, I know in the US in particular, people don't like the organ meat as much, so a lot of that ends up as being hamburgers or shipped out. So that's one of the challenges for ranchers, is it's like you still got all the cow brains and the liver and all that stuff, it's still a big part of the cow, obviously. So anyway, sort of a digression, but yeah, that's something to keep in mind when you're working directly with those groups, is it's like, yeah, they might have what they have, right? You get what you get to a certain extent.
You can sell all those organs to like the Chinese market. They'll buy them.
I'm
Chinese
sure they
people.
do. Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
do. The challenge is like, and I've noticed it, is like, real beef that doesn't have a bunch of antibiotics, that's grass fed, that's raised ethically, that does all this stuff. It costs more money, like
Right,
a lot
right.
more money, but it's
Right.
also, you can taste the difference. Like I even just had some of their hamburger the other night. I made some tacos, and it's such a much higher quality. It's really hard to describe, but like any of the meats that I've had, there's no weird bits of gristle. You don't have like all this throwaway. It just tastes better. I don't know. It's hard to put into words, but it's like, my dad used to, because he grew up on a farm on the East Coast, and he used to talk about non-GMO tomatoes. Like he was a tomato Nazi, because he was just so into tomatoes. It was like his favorite thing. And he's just like, you just can't get a good tomato on the West Coast. Like all these things that they sell, even the hot house, quote unquote, tomatoes that you get at Whole Foods, none of it
Yeah.
ever measured up, because it's pumped through full of all these chemicals. They're picked
Yep.
green off the vine. They do all these
Yep.
funky things. He's like, it's just not real food. Versus like, when I was growing up on a farm, you just go outside, you grab the tomato off of the tomato plant, you put like a little bit of salt on it, and you could just eat that. Like you didn't need anything
Yep.
to go with your tomato. That's how good it was. Anyway,
Exactly.
food rant
Exactly.
over.
They made ketchup up above in Sacramento, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of trucks coming up from like Stockton during 3 months a year.
Yeah, but it's just
But-
different. Like, when my dad was a kid, because he's like, so he's not even a boomer, he was a silver generation. Like, farms were farms, right? Like, it wasn't this mass factory production.
Right.
Food was expensive. Like, he explained to me, he was like, getting a turkey back when he was a kid was a big deal. Like, you didn't get free turkeys for Thanksgiving. Like, his mom went out and spent $20 back when $20 would buy you a goddamn thing, and that was just for the turkey, right? But
Wow.
like what you would get for it would be a really high quality food product that you really can't get here. Certainly not at any sort of chain grocery store. Like if you go direct to a farmer, you could get it.
But again, it costs at least 2.5 times as much.
At
Where
least.
the chuck bundles are about $5 a pound, and it's called a 116A.
Yeah.
And it's a good cut. I mean, it's just a chuck roast. I mean, it makes great hamburger. So even the trashy stuff is great hamburgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, matter how you slice it, like you said, David, it costs more for real food.
Right.
And that's part of the reason I think people are resistant to it is, one, they don't have any more money. Like, the average American we've discussed before, like they don't have the money for spending more on real food, and they just don't realize how badly they're poisoning themselves. Like
Well, then if it disappears, it's gone. I mean, you don't have the cheap stuff anymore.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
there's
not at the store.
there's no more real food for people.
Well,
I mean, there is,
Not
but like
many.
not in a convenient grocery store.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
But like the big five meat producers gobble up all of the animals. So I mean, it's the farmers are all trapped because they can only sell it for as much as the final guys pay, and they're all so screwed.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's why I think like if you can buy directly from your farmer and you're supporting them directly, that's one thing that you can do to try to improve the chain, particularly if you're going to somebody who you see that like they've got a good product that you want. You maybe even can buy like in bulk or whatever. I don't know.
Well, ideally, you seed their calves.
And
Yes.
and
You know,
pay
you
cash
put
or
in
crypto.
the 2-year commitment and help them, basically build an inventory for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, full circular economy.
Yeah.
I'm on board with it.
And then you can skip all of the pasteurized garbage and you get raw milk and make great cheeses and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the other things our Bitcoin one of the guys does when he brings this stuff down is he brings down the raw milk, and you can get the lard or other stuff as well. Yeah.
Get ghee, all the good stuff. Yeah. No, I think we're
Yeah.
all on the same wavelength here, and we want to prevent future problems.
All right. Well, I'll talk to our group about, hey, we might
Yeah.
have some other folks interested in maybe doing a group buy, or
Absolutely.
like I said, search for some land. I don't know, that piece of land on the coast looked pretty compelling to me. I was like, all right.
We should do it. It's
But
60.4 acres. That's huge.
yeah.
It gets complicated though. I mean, it's the problem with like communes or any other bullshit, is just like, how do you, with a bunch of strangers, how do you actually make it work when
Yeah, that's
it's a real
true.
hard
There's
challenge.
good land and
That's
there's
true.
bad land. You don't want to be in the bad land that the little creeks all dry up.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like you said, Dave, is you gotta
comes down to
really
watershed.
truth out these lands and see if they're really usable for the intended use, right?
Right.
For sure.
It's by the coast. Can you build homes on it?
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. I assume so.
Yeah,
I think there's
that's
one there,
beautiful
right?
land right there.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't have to build homes, right? You can there's ready
Campers.
homes you can get on there. Like not even like trailer, like cheap trailers. They're like they're modular homes that are pre-built.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
it's
a booming sector. We've looked at it before. Like Elon Musk has one. I forgot which brand he has, but I looked at the wait list. It's like 2 years. We looked at it before. I'll pull it up. Is this it? What's the company? Here we go. Yeah, Boxably, a Las Vegas company. So
oh yeah.
right, they build it to your specs. They have a couple cookie cutter templates, but then it's unpacked in an hour and it just turns on.
Yeah. Then you can move it.
So
Yeah.
so my fantasy is, gold goes to, 50,000, an ounce, and you guys never see me anymore. And then, I grab the 60 acres, I drag this on there, and then I spend the rest of the year building an actual house for fun. And then get all my friends, we'll carve up subplots, and we'll live in the same general area so we can fight invaders together. So
So the beat up double wides and the beat up campers are actually not all that expensive. So I mean,
especially
temporary
now,
houses for like 5 years is not that big a deal. You just don't have great living expenses or living environment.
I mean,
I wonder how this company, the Boxwell people, how their business going.
they have
I know they're in Vegas.
their wait list backlog is immense.
Wow.
And look,
There's
they're
cargo
hiring like
boxes
crazy.
where I live.
Huh?
What was
They're
that?
only about $5,000. I think they're under $5,000.
Yeah, it's affordable. It's really good. Like, and look at they're hiring for everything. And no, I mean, and hiring shows strength. And they got like
Right.
ERP on the back end with NetSuite. Like, it's a pretty big deal.
How much is one house like that? I forgot. I looked at it before.
Um,
Like
uh,
50 some thousand, right?
But those are really small houses, just so you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones you can get for 50 are not gonna be very expensive.
You can get the build 'em houses where everything's pre-cut and basically you get a semi truck
Oh,
that
you can
has
pay.
everything on it.
You can buy time and move up the rankings on the list.
Well, that's cheap for moving up the rank.
Don't tell Elon to do that. He'll slap you with stipulations not to resell, which is also bullshit. Like if I own the car, I can do whatever the fuck I want with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't see prices, but here I'll drop the link in the chat. There's this complicated order form. Okay. We gotta speed up. We're already at our end time. Okay. Sorry. Great divergence, great topics, and very alternative investment oriented. So I think we're all happy with it. But yeah, let's take a look at some more articles. We talked about Fisker. It's collapsing in price. Let me pull up the charts. And I love shorting these guys since COVID. And now it's a penny stock and the fun train has ended. So yeah, this is Fisker. Since inception, it's lost 99.06% of its market capitalization. And that's insane. And then the same thing will happen to all of the Chinese EV firms and whatnot. So yeah, you can expect all of that damage coming down the pipeline. Cool. Why isn't this loading? But yeah. Okay, next article. Facebook. Okay. Let's pull up a Meta stock. Okay, here's Facebook. Okay. So yeah, they wiretapped their competitors. They made some fraudulent certificates to sniff their data packets, and they grabbed data from Snapchat, YouTube, and Amazon. So
Wow.
yeah, so they rooted basically mobile devices that way. So it's kind of crazy.
It's
So
crazy. They should all, somebody should be hung. I mean, at this point, we're getting to a point where these bad guys are just
they're laughing at us.
very evil.
They're laughing at us. And
Yeah.
Zuck is a known asshole. He's been laughing at us or at his customers since his Harvard days. Like he's a colossal dick. And that's why I'm pissed that one of my favorite guys is training him jujitsu. And like I've watched them as matches. Like I don't know if I can kill Mark Zuckerberg. Like I don't know if I can confidently say that anymore. It's not 100%. So
You break his knees.
like I would like
I mean, you have to fight dirty for, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, this guy, like I love this guy. He's out of Pleasanton and he's the John Wick 4 choreographer and Mark
Wow.
Zuckerberg's personal instructor. So it just
So
pisses
it's
me off. But yeah.
probably really expensive too.
And that guy
Oh,
is
he can
he
pay.
votes red too. So I don't know what he's doing. Like, oh, this will help our community. I don't see it, but yeah.
Money talks. So
Yeah, but okay, yeah, it does. It's just sad. Okay. All right, we gotta speed up. So that's Meta. Let's run through all of our fun international news. I didn't want to look at this together. So this in the line of Baltimore and whatnot. So here's some interesting thoughts about cyber crimes and critical infrastructure is a top target. So wait till all of the T-word splinter cells turn on, and most of them will be Chinese, and that's not going to be fun.
Well,
And
Ukraine too.
all of the
We
above, yeah.
made a lot of enemies in Ukraine.
We made enemies of everybody. But yeah.
Belarus has the best programmers in the world. The one guy wins the contest in the Google contest every other year.
Oh,
And all the winners in the Google contest come from Russia and Belarus.
yeah.
mhm.
You know, like 3/4 of them.
But yeah, oh, I forgot to mention this in the context of Moscow. So Russia retaliated and just started executing NATO officers with their hypersonic missiles. And these babies fly at over 7,000 miles an hour. What is that, Mach 6 or 7? I forget. But
Yeah.
wait, it's in clumps of 300, right? So where's my calculator?
I think it's like 700 or 800 miles an hour is Mach.
So that's like what, Mach 21 or something? Whatever it is, yeah. It's multiples of the speed of sound, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not like 4 or 5 because
Yeah, so
that's lots of military jets go 4 or 5.
yeah, so this is plus or minus 20. But yeah, uh this happened. So and this was not reported anywhere, but like I think Putin's being really restrained despite all the shenanigans. And whether it's him or Beijing that pulled Baltimore, like I don't know. I feel like I feel it's more China than anybody, but we'll see. Okay. Let's take a look at France. Shifting gears. Hope Linda is around and not on a call or something. Let's see. Oh, Ross's comment. What's the effect on Meta? No effect. He is a ruling member of the tribe, therefore nothing will happen to him. Or
Can't be
Cheryl's.
touched.
Okay. Shifting gears to France for a second. We're seeing some financial disasters getting lined up here. And again, why is Europe even on a single currency? It kind of blows my mind. But we kind of don't have a lot of time to unpack this. But here is fiscal rule compliance to different EU parameters. And let's see. Uh, anyone who follows the EU is signing their own death warrant. But yeah, have you heard much about this, Linda, at all? If you're not busy and can speak. Oh, Linda might be on the phone call or something. Okay, we'll skip this. But meanwhile, let's shift gears to what is the France ETF? What is it again? I keep forgetting. EWQ. All right, let's pull that up. And I was chatting with Linda this week too, and she said even as a French citizen, it's a nightmare to trade options in France. There's a 33% transactional tax on all derivatives, and the markets are completely different. It's nothing like America's stuff. And to me, European exercise and assignment rules sound attractive because it's at the very end. So you don't have like pin risk and stuff, but they have other barriers to entry that are also not good. But here's the France ETF, EWQ. It seems happy, I guess. Let's look at the other countries. Here's EEM. Here's the emerging markets as a whole, as a basket. And we can look at specific ones, like here's Mexico. Oh, throwback to 2015. One of my best trades then was before election, I went long on the Mexico ETF. Oh, no, I went short on the Mexico ETF. Trump got elected, this crashed. So that was fun. I
Yeah,
remember.
I traded the Trump election and
Oh, yeah.
Brexit.
That was
I
fun.
was up all night, both nights.
Yeah. But yeah, so here's like this is Korea, it's doing well. Here's Japan. Oh, we gotta get some more international news. All right, let's get out of here. Okay. Or fast forward. Oh yeah, the T word, impact of the T word globally. Oh, I think a bunch of folks have to leave at 12, but thanks for hanging out with us in case you do have to go. So, and I'll post a recording, of course, after this. But yeah, let's take a look at global impact. All right. So dark is high. Okay. America's medium. How sad is that? That should never be like that. Not especially not with, multiple guns behind every blade of grass. Like we should not be orange at all. Like how is China very low? What BS is this? Oh, I guess they don't count the T word if the locals, if the local government does it to you, it's not the T word, right? India's high, that's for sure. And again, I keep thinking, is Ross still here? Oh, Ross is. I kept thinking about Ross's other statement the other day, a couple weeks ago, or it was a couple months. Like India is a British creation. I just thought about that. I was like, wow, that's right. And I started watching a bunch of like Indian, not Indian, just looking at like war commentary about like Indian conquerors, and they've been passing hands in different parts of the country like nonstop. It's never been a cohesive unit of this subcontinental size before. So it really is a British creation.
It's like 5 different countries.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I mean, major areas are like 5 different countries, and there's like 20 or 30 languages.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
pretty wild,
And English is the unifying language, which kind of blows my mind.
right? And it was all unified by the Brits.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm with you, Ross. I worked for Zoho for a couple of years, and the Tamils are a little bit different, that's for sure. But I prefer, like, I got so bored of eating like sambar and whatnot. Like, I just like the North Indian food better. I like grains over rice. Okay, but yeah, so that's the T word globally. Yeah, just be careful, guys. And then this right here, this red clump is Colombia. Speaking of cocoa prices. All right. Oh, we gotta fast forward. All right, so Taiwan, Philippines, they're getting more nuclear oriented. So it's not quite to talk uranium yet, but I do have that on the radar screen. And but yeah, as BRICS gets stronger, I can't help but think about the Dune quote, which was control the coin and the quartz, leave the rest to the rabble. And that's literally the Rothschild playbook. If you look at Rothschild banking and George Soros collusion by funding prosecutor elections, yeah, it's just that's literally the blueprint.
You know, the R word is also sort of a banned word, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Then I'll speak the colloquial the root etymology
It gets a
of
lot
that
of
word.
attention. And nobody's supposed to say that one.
Okay, okay, I'm with you. But the root etymology of the word is red shield.
Yeah.
If you guys speak German. So we can call it the Red Shield clan to evade the censors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We gotta fast forward. So we won't look at the article. Let's just dive to the Japanese yen versus the USD. It's gone to the extremes, and my God, we should go to Japan soon.
You flip that number? Oh,
Here we go.
151,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We should just go party and like take over Osaka or something, and go eat sushi in Kyoto in the old capital. Ah, okay. All right. So yeah, Japan's having a crisis, and officially negative interest rates have ended. So again, why that happened, like no one could have predicted that. Adam Smith would fight you to the death if you told him one day there would be like negative interest rates. He'd slap you silly, and call out Andrew Jackson to get second rounds on you. Okay. But yeah, commodity stocks and energy in general is rolling up in a big way. Again, my apologies on the sector rotation. I would show you guys that XLE is blowing up. And yeah, in case you guys were wondering, how fast is rotation or how fast is money rotating back into energy? And it's good. It's good. And this goes back to Warren Buffett's 13F. Like he got rid of a lot of riffraff and just piled money into Occidental Oil. So he's been doing that for a long time. Cool. Other alternative investments. Again, investing in liquor and alcohol is complicated. No one trusts how people store things. So resale is complicated as hell. And that was why we had problems with the Macau Wine Investment Trust Fund that my uncle started. But yeah. Here's an interesting comment from JP Morgan. Yeah, and then I think I posted this on Discord, but yeah, cocoa prices have hit an all-time high, and it's $10,000 per metric ton. So crazy. It's just straight up vertical. And
What country got all screwed up? There was someplace in Africa?
let's see if this
I mean,
specifies.
the whole crop must have gotten diseased or something.
Yes, so there is a problem in West Africa, which is the vast majority of the cocoa. Technically, the cocaine plant and the cocoa plant overlap. They're a growing area. So due to the high price of cocaine, a lot of the crop rotation is not in Central America. It's in like West Africa where cocaine doesn't grow well. But yeah.
I'm surprised that it's Hershey that's getting a downgrade because I thought most of their chocolate was like 50% paraffin anyway.
Anyway, yeah. It's filler to begin with. And if you can see Hershey's, they've moved into sell-off territory immediately. So I have a soft short on Hershey's myself. So it is ready to close already. But yeah, I'll buy it back for a nickel in just a second. But yeah. So yeah, Hershey is on the move if you guys were curious. But yeah, put call ratio 1.46. It's having an update at the moment, but this is temporary. Cool. So that's Hershey's for you. We don't have time to talk gold. Gold prices are up. So let's just glance at the premium rates really quick. And if anyone's in the market for some silver, please let me know. I'm trying to unload some to finance more Chinese shorts. So yeah. All right. Okay. So let's see. Premiums. Okay, premiums on gold, 3.67%. This has been pretty steady overall. We've seen it hit like a high of 4-ish, but it's been staying steady. Silver is about 14% on the buy. When you sell back, I had to sell some a little bit locally. My guy was paying $1 under spot. So he paid me like 23 something for some stuff. Cool. And let's look at the gold silver ratio. I believe it's 85 now. So 1 ounce of gold buys 85 ounces of silver. Right? 85? 89 and a half. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, let's look at the China news, the fun stuff. All right. And yeah. So again, the Shanghai Exchange, the magical number is 3,000. And as you can see, it's been at the 3,000 level for like 15 plus years. So effectively, the market's gone nowhere. And this is how Beijing and Shanghai robbed all of China. So it's common knowledge among Chinese nationals that the bulk of it is all insider trading. There is not like there's not that many suckers alive anymore in China. Like it's always been like this. And let's look at the exchange rate. Last time we looked at it was 7.2, like 7.19. It's gone north about 3 pennies. So not a great trend for China. But yeah, let's look at Xi Jinping's, I guess, e-begging, as it were. And he did this in November in San Francisco, and it's 4 months later now, and he's asking for more money. So yeah, and if you guys recall, in November when he hosted his AIPAC meeting in San Francisco, Larry Fink was there, all the other tech CEOs, blah, blah, blah. And now, let's see, he still needs more money. And let's see, yeah, that was the APEC forum, that's right. And I went there to go kick some ass, but all I did was scare some Chinese on both sides of the spectrum.
You have a lot of gold.
Who? China? Yes, they're hoarding the good stuff and selling the fake gold to the populace. It's hilarious. Oh, I missed a bunch of comments from Ross. Yeah. USA chocolates are the worst. Yes. Gold monthly chart has a green line breakout. Dr. Wish indicator. Wait, what is the Dr. Wish? What is that? Dr. Wish? Can you expand on that, Ross? Dr. Wish. I haven't heard of this before.
Did you have a rough number of what percentage US is going through that port?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll look it up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. So, Suez Canal is 12%. I don't know what that is, but yeah. Okay.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah.
Well, the
Okay.
Baltimore port is getting a lot of the car imports. That's
Yeah,
my
so you want to
understanding.
sort by raw tonnage. And hopefully that equalizes everything.
I'll
Okay.
put it in Discord. I'm
Okay.
gonna look at it.
Yeah, let us know. Okay. But Ross, do you want to talk about GLD really quick? If you're available to chat. I'm not sure if you're at work and can't talk. Okay. But yeah, here's our old trend lines. Yeah, gold is having a nice day. Yay. Do I have gold on me? I do have gold. I have the most expensive form of gold, no less. Where is it? Come on. If it's not in my backpack, I'm gonna panic.
Is it gold bar?
It is not in my backpack. What the fuck? Oh, I know where it is. It's in my jacket.
Is it the bars, right? The gold bar.
No, here we go. It is a gold eagle. It's the classic design, not the ugly new one that they have. But yeah.
Go Eagle.
I use this to cover my hole cards in poker. That's why it's on my jacket.
Maybe you could use gold bars as the plates in your bulletproof vests.
I thought about that. Gold is really soft. You would want to use silver ones over the gold ones.
At what price will you sell all your gold holding?
When the gold silver ratio hits 10.
Gold ratio silver hit 10. Okay.
So yeah, so 1 ounce of gold buys 10 ounces of silver.
Oh.
At that point, the world's melted down and it's time to bunker in.
Oh, what price would that be for gold?
It doesn't, no one knows.
Approximate.
It's not important because we got to look at purchasing power and value over dollars. Like if you ask me, like it doesn't matter. It's kind of like in Weimar Germany or Zimbabwe or Argentina. Like what is the price at the moment? Like it doesn't matter because it doesn't buy anything anyway. Like I'll literally take this and go buy, like, I don't know, like, then again, without property rights, buying land and stuff is complicated. Like, how do I buy 60 acres with bars of gold and silver? Like what court, like how do we do the deed exchange, blah, blah, blah. Like it's a free for all at that point. So it's hard to say. Like that, again, that is a rough general rule from Michael Maloney's research that I'm just parroting. But
Very similar to any other hard asset, like with Bitcoin, when people ask me, what's your fiat exit price?
yeah,
There is no
one
top
question.
because there is no top to the fiat supply.
Yeah. Like, so they're asking, like, how many shit coins do you want for your nice coin? It's like, wrong question. Like, we're not in the same universe.
Right. Like you said, you might buy or you might sell off a portion of it if you needed something like an extra gun to protect your family. I assume you'd sell some of your gold if you were in some sort of a desperate scenario and maybe you didn't have any guns and you're like, I have some gold. I might trade a piece of my gold for a gun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or something really practical, right?
Right.
1,000 rounds.
Or bullets, right? Yeah, that's speaking of a
really
hard
heavy,
asset,
trust
right?
me.
Yeah.
Or food.
Right, or
You know,
food if you're
bullets
starving
are
to death,
bad.
right? Yeah,
You
exactly.
can steal people's food.
Well,
I've
I
traded
suppose
hollow
that's an
points for
option.
gold before. I used to have out of production black talons, which is a very specialized 9mm hollow point, and traded with one of my homeboys for some gold.
So AK rounds were 16.7 cents each before COVID had really kicked off.
AK rounds are not popular in California because we can't even get the actual can I say gun? Yeah, we can't even get the actual rifle.
Really?
No, not in
Oh,
California.
You're probably right.
Because
I
it's
hadn't thought about
considered a assault rifle, which again, they can't define what a woman is, and they're trying to define weaponry. Like it's garbage. But now it's 42 cents, and that's without FFL fees, taxes, and shipping yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, if you guys need ammo, talk to me, or AmmoSeek is a great search engine. It's a national search engine, which is complicated because California has so many barriers to entry just to buy fucking ammo. It's insane.
There's an ammo store up here.
Huh? Say what?
Yeah, but are they full? I mean, that's really the issue that I ran into when I was trying to buy. It's part of the reason that I started making my own. And even that
Yeah.
got complicated.
Yeah, reloading is really easy. But primer shortages are kind of a problem. You can get powder
Absolutely.
faster than primers. But then
But
you can
you can get primers mailed to you.
but no, not really. It has to be mailed to an FFL, and it's more paperwork.
Primers?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So it's the reloading components that have been also legislated to hell. So a lot of my friends and we just go across state lines and something. Okay, Back to our show. Oh, sorry. Let's talk Chinese stocks really quick. Before we get to the news articles, let's go to the parent stuff. All right, here's FXI, Chinese large cap. And as you can see, it's in a downward trend, and this will accelerate like a motherfucker. And right now, there's some brief inflows because of the money printing in China and Beatty's attempt to stave off the inevitable mass default of the country. But the tides will turn for sure. And we're already seeing that on the Chinese internet stocks already. So here's KWeb, which is Chinese large cap internet stocks. And they're barely at the zero line. So net sellers and net buyers is equal right now. And it's only going to take a puff of wind to blow them the other direction. And for the 2x leverage product, which is CWeb, it's a 2x bullish. It's already below the zero line. So that's kind of a clue of what's coming up. So if we look at individual tickers, here's Alibaba, which is the sort of the crowning champion, and they're still not holding the line very well. And there's some better players to short. And if you're asking me, well, who is Warren shorting? I'm very closely watching here, like Baidu right here. I'm getting ready. I closed a bunch of positions on NEO, which has done really nicely. And I've been in them since earnings, but post earnings, they kind of had a nice little slight recovery. And then I waited for that to burn out and then just milked them the other way. So again, this is like a perfect blend of what I hate, right? Commies and EVs. It's just perfect. So have at it here. And then there's also, I've been watching Billy a lot. This is one of their multimedia platforms, and this has some good volatility for selling some call spreads. But yeah, so that's individual tickers. And if you're wondering what other qualifiers are there, or sorry, what other candidates are there, let's go to our watch list, affectionately called Panda Tech. And so we got Pinduoduo here. If you guys have been shopping on Temu, this is the parent. Weibo is the WeChat, the giant everything app for messaging and finance. We just talked about Billy right here. Here's Tencent, which is not liquid on the options side at all, unfortunately. But yeah. Oh, I think Ross had a comment earlier on Chinese EVs like BYD and Li Auto. And they're also having very similar problems with NEO. Effectively, all the state-sponsored Chinese EV manufacturers suck. They lose, every unit sold is a loss because they're basically milking subsidy funds. And it's again sort of like how GM and Chevrolet, sorry, how GM has those fleets of electric cars chilling in the desert in the Southwest. Kind of similar idea. And then getting into local news, this is my old hometown, or like my family's hometown of Shanghai. And there's a great video, but yeah, the city is effectively wiped out. All the coolest shopping plazas, no foot traffic. And in terms of real estate values, it's a disaster. And the secondhand market has collapsed. Real estate prices are in free fall. It's game over. And looking at more demographic data, youth unemployment, I think they finally published a figure here. Let me show you guys the update. Where is the figure? Here we go. March 20th, the unemployment rate for urban 16 to 24-year-olds is only 15.3%. And if you believe this, then we have multiple Eiffel Towers to sell you. And yeah, it's hilarious. And oh, I want to talk about academic fraud, which is kind of interesting. So there was a great video from China Observer talking about a lot of students getting expelled, nearly half for exam cheating, paper fraud, and all kinds of shenanigans. And we're a little bit out of time, but let's just take a glance at the white paper on Chinese fraud. So it's from this old org here. Let's just take a glance. I haven't read it too much into it, but it's mainly around plagiarism, cheating, ghostwriting, proxy test taking. Like these guys will they'll make fake passports with your name and they'll fly over and do this kind of shit. Like I didn't know this was even possible, but that means there's complete corruption like up and down the sort of bureaucratic food chain of China, which doesn't surprise me. but yeah. Again, we don't have time to dive into this too deeply, but someone did compile the numbers on cheating and plagiarism. And if anything, since some of us, you know, are responsible for hiring and firing, do not hire Chinese nationals. And again, the espionage system doesn't quite work as people expected. Beijing definitely sends dedicated squads out to get particular, I guess, intel or assets or things that they want. But by and large, all the other Chinese nationals, while they're not as organized and deployed from Beijing, all they need to do is raise their hand, and the right handler will find them if they have something important. And that's how a lot of this is managed. It's very fragmented and unorganized, but it works. Everyone can find the right handler and get, you know, cash on the other side or even on this side of the ocean. And that's also why it makes me really nervous to have so many hundreds of thousands of undocumented illegals from China on U.S. soil, and they're all coming through the San Diego side of the border. So it kind of terrifies me. And when stuff does start popping off and they find the culprits and they look like me, like that's not good for any Asian. So yeah. Cool. So with that, it's 12:30. We can call it here. Let's look at earnings trades and see where the market is. Let me turn off the recording here.